today's episode, let's find out how the GHMC elections has become a high voltage affair and what political parties in Telangana are up to with respect to attracting voters in the GHMC limits. Given that there are 150 wards in the GHMC limits, I've tried to look at this a little differently, which is through 4 different segments. The first one is the Muslim community. The second one are Telangana region people who have settled in Hyderabad. Third are Seema and Andhra settlers in Hyderabad. And the fourth one are those who have migrated from other states to Hyderabad. Let's consider the first segment, the Muslim community. It is clear and obvious that these votes would go to MIM in Hyderabad. If you look at the example of Bihar elections, most of the Muslim votes went to MIM. Neither did Owaisi canvass much in the Bihar elections, nor did he push for the party's presence in the state. Going by this trend, it is clear that MIM may win around 20 to 30 seats within Hyderabad. The second segment of voters are those from Telangana who have settled in Hyderabad. This segment has a strong Telangana sentiment in the backdrop. If you look at the assembly as well as the subsequent Lok Sabha elections, the vote share of TRS reduced. At the same time, the vote share of BJP increased from 7% to 20% in Telangana. However, if you go by the recent Dubbaka by-poll, this is a clear indication that BJP is now the main opposition and TRS is treading cautiously in this regard. Let's talk about the third segment, Seemandhra settlers in Hyderabad. This is one segment that has a very unpredictable voting pattern. Given that the TDP is contesting the GHMC elections, it can actually use the Seemandhra settlers in Hyderabad for its voter base, but before that, it needs to build a strong base within the state and have very strong leaders. The fourth segment consists of fence sitters as well as Modi or BJP supporters. They are well educated, employed people whose votes could mostly sway towards the BJP because of the language gap and the challenge of understanding regional parties. Now, let's look at what political party strategies are. Let's start with TRS. The Telangana Rashtra Samiti needs to project itself with a good research-based communication strategy. It also has to project the TRS party as one that extends beyond the Kalvakuntla family. Moreover, the voting percentage drop for the TRS is an indication that the party needs to be more active in the rural areas. Another important issue for TRS will be its friendship with MIM. How it balances this equation and treats carefully in Hyderabad will be something that needs to be watched. Second, let's consider the BJP. By winning 2 assembly seats and 4 Lok Sabha seats, the party has opened an account in Telangana. Let me explain how the BJP is using its Bihar strategy in Hyderabad. The main point of target of the BJP is the TRS-MIM friendship. BJP's message for Hyderabad is, if Muslims in Bihar have voted for MIM, why shouldn't Hindus in Hyderabad vote for the BJP? Now here's something very interesting that happened. BJP's friend, which is Janasena Party, wanted to contest the GHMC elections. But BJP convinced the party to withdraw from all seats and support it unanimously. This slow suppression of Janasena is a clear indication of how BJP is looking at its Akhand Bharat strategy by stomping regional parties and their interests in state. Most importantly, their groundwork is brilliant, and that is why they are able to sell even the most ridiculous election promises so well. Now let's look at TDP. This is a great time for the party to rethink its strategy for Telangana and revive itself. Even if the TDP is considering the GHMC elections as a test bed for its revival, it needs to convince the people that the BJP has not been supporting both the Telugu states with enough funds, and it also needs to create enough propaganda against the TRS riding on the anti-incumbency wave. In Telangana, the TDP clearly needs to establish its roots and remind people of Telangana that it was established for the Telugu people and is not against those in Telangana. Second, the TDP can use the IT crowd as its voter base and show how it brought investments to Hyderabad and global recognition to the city even before bifurcation. 3. It can show that TRS is opposing Polavaram and portray BJP as one that is not releasing funds for the state as well as do propaganda against Janasena as the party that is supporting BJP in stopping AP and Telangana's development. Adding to this, if Janasena used its friendship with the BJP and asked the High Command of BJP to first sanction funds for Polavaram and then told the BJP that it would support the party in GHMC, only after it announced funds for AP and Telangana, Pawan Kalyan's value would have grown immensely among people. Additionally, TDP also has a very strong BC community voter base in Telangana. Now let's look at Congress party. From weak leadership at the central level to lack of good voices and disorientation within the party, everything seems to be going haywire for them. If they don't get a hold of themselves quickly, these votes may go to the BJP, which is waiting for every chance to increase its voter base in Telangana. Going by the information I've presented so far, it is clear that KCR and the party's high command needs to focus on research-based propaganda as well as good marketing strategies if they want to seal the next election with a comfortable majority. The TRS needs to push its workers to work diligently for the next election. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.